since you're such a big hockey fan, I'm sure you're going to have the greatest answer to this week's Up for Debate, which is, which position did your first ever favorite Minnesota Wild player play? I know Alexis's answer, so should I start with hers?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to guess Alexis can refute this if she wants, but I don't think she will. She's going to go goalie. She's going to go Nicholas Backstrom. If I had longer hair and looked better, then I would be full on Alexis, but I'm not right now. But I bet you that's what she's going to go with. Goalie, Nicholas Backstrom. Alexis, tell me I'm wrong, but I'm not. I'm usually right. I'm right on that one as well. Fred, who's your favorite Minnesota Wild player? However, what position did they play and who was it?
Well, you have to remember that I am a very new Minnesota Wild player fan or Minnesota Wild fan. So it's not necessarily like back in the ancient days of the startup of the team or anything like that.
I hadn't considered that. That is interesting. Yeah, this is going to be a good perspective.
Mine is within, the last 5-6 years, and it's goalie because my favorite guy was Devin Dubnyk.
Oh, you said it. No, really?
Yeah, but I liked Devin Dubnyk as a person.
Okay.
I just really enjoyed him and the way he interacted with people, and he was a very intelligent guy. He was one of those guys that
you're saying past tense.
Well, he's not. We don't hear from him anymore.
I'm working on getting him on the pod, so let's talk.
He's been on once. He was like,
he's coming back.
Was he like?
You're gonna get him back.
Was like episode 2 or 3? 2. Yeah, he was our second guest.
Yeah.
But I there was a very specific moment where I'm like, I like you a lot. And I traveled a little bit with the team, and we would be on charter flights, going across the country, and we were stuck with a day off in Winnipeg, Canada, and there's nothing in Winnipeg, Canada, except this one bar/casino. And it's like it was like in the second floor of a high rise, and all of the team goes there to drink, eat, and gamble.
Yeah.
And it was me and a couple of the other, support team that flies around with the team across the country. And he just comes up, sits down, starts talking with us. The only player on the whole team that sat down and started chatting with us. And it's a great conversation. It was like he wanted to talk to you. He wanted to get to know you. And I think it was also he wanted to show that he was a different guy on the team too, which was kind of nice. So Devin Dubnyk, he was my first favorite.
I like it. Even just the little side conversations. He chirped me. The best chirp that he ever gave me was he apparently read an article that I had immediately filed. My editors had changed it a little bit, and they also changed it to be inaccurate. And they said Mike Yeo was the head coach of the Wild, which he hadn't been a head coach for like 3 years. And I was mortified because I'm like, I didn't write that. I swear to God, because he right away, he's like, hey, Jesse, who's the coach of the Wild? I was like, I think Bruce was the coach at the time. And he immediately got on me, and I was like, wait, what? And then I also realized that he reads everything that people write about him too. So it's like, okay, got to be nice to Dubes in the writing, which I usually was anyway. But so I immediately frantically emailed my editor like, hey, you put the wrong coach in there. And they're like, oh, sorry. I'm like, oh, sorry me. There's been 3 coaches in between. It was just whatever. So Dubes, good peeps. My first ever favorite Minnesota Wild player was Brent Burns. Not original. I was actually always very fond of defensemen. I played defense. Even in soccer, I played defense. Basketball, where you have to play a little bit of both, I was just a better defender. I don't love to look to score, which is why it's probably weird that I loved Brent Burns as much as I do, because I love a scoring defenseman. But I like Nick Schultz too. He was probably a second. That was kind of my thing. I was a big fan.